This is the Akai Tomcat. Came out about the same time as the Timberwolf. It is more of a sister and I would say reaction to the Rhythm Wolf. The Tomcat is a fully analog drum machine, a lot like the ones that you'd see in the 1980s and 70s. It has a kick, snare, clap, open and close hi-hat, and disco toms. And it has a lot of features that are in the Timberwolf, like doing an A and B 16-step pattern. So you can have 32 steps, as well as a 16-step fill. You can save up to 16 patterns. Also has a velocity, so you can change from light velocity, medium velocity, and heavy velocity. Each one of the voices has its own volume, tune, pitch envelope, and decay, except for the hi-hat that doesn't have any decay. The toms have a tune, attack, decay, envelope decay, and pitch envelope amount. It also has this little switch here that changes your disco tom sounds from pew to whoop. The positives about this unit are, like the Timberwolf, this is built very solid. The knobs, when you turn them, feel like they have some heft. It has the classic Akai pads, and a few of the sounds on here are actually pretty decent, like the clap and the snare. And like the Timberwolf, it comes with its own distortion. It's called the maul. It sounds pretty decent. Another plus, besides having MIDI, is that it has gate triggers, which is really nice to have with older machines. It also has a USB option, so you can plug it into your computer and use it as a controller or for firmware updates. The drawbacks. Well, one of them is the kick drum. I have to turn it all the way up in order for you to hear it. If I turn it to the middle, you can barely hear it at all. You can hear my finger over the kick drum. The second drawback is that the volume, tune, and decay on the open and closed hi-hat are tied together. So if I change one, it changes the other. The only difference between the open and closed hi-hat is that this one is just slightly longer by like a fraction of a millisecond. Another drawback are the toms. That sounds nice. If I turn it to whoop, where'd it go? If I turn everything up all the way, still can't hear it. It is very, very subtle, and it could be just my unit. And if you have one that works a lot better, please let me know. But the whoop feature itself, for me, seems to be completely useless. Another problem I see is the velocity button. When I put it all the way down to green and hit the snare and then bring it up, it doesn't seem to change how hard I hit the pad to make the velocity different. And finally, another problem that I have with this is that when you have it synced in via MIDI to something else, if you were to click stop on the other unit and then push play again, it doesn't start from one. It starts at wherever it stopped before. And there's no way that I've been able to find that will fix that issue. Hopefully it's a firmware issue that they can solve in the future, but right now it's still a problem. Other than that, that's pretty much all you get with this machine. It's a straight up analog drum machine. It has its drawbacks, it has some plus sides. You can get them for fairly cheap, especially on Musician's Friend. Every so often they sell them for about $100. For $100 for a fully analog drum machine that has some pretty decent sounds and a 16-step sequencer, it's not a bad deal. This one looks a little bit different. It has a stand and a side panel replacement, basically. The analog Akai Professional units came out with these plastic wood-looking side panels, and I thought they just horrible. Plus I wanted the stand so I could see it coming off of my desk. So a guy I met on Etsy was creating these stands for different units, and he developed this model here which doubles as a replacement for the plastic on the Tomcat and Rhythm Wolf, and also as a stand. You have a model right here. And if you're interested, I will have a link to these and where you can buy them at the bottom of this video. Why do I own this? I like the snare and the clap and the hi-hats. If I pair this up with a different drum machine, say like the Vocal Beats, and use the kick drum from that, I can use the snare and the clap and the hi-hats from this one and have a fairly decent analog drum machine. It can also provide a very nice, what I like to call a secondary bed pattern. Something that's laying underneath your main pattern that'll give it a little bit more oomph. You wanna play it? Sorry that things might look weird. I had to switch to a different camera. Anyways, that was the Akai Tomcat. Let me know if you've played with it or if you've modded it, like there's an individual output mod that people are doing. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video. Thanks.